guys, it's Sam, and today I'm doing the wine book tag. This tag was created by Boho Bookworm, and I was also tagged by her, and I really like these questions because I haven't done a lot of tags recently because I feel like a lot of the questions are just kind of recycled questions, but these talk about wine and the like flavor notes of wine, and then they pair it with a question, which I think is super creative and awesome. I also do love wine. I'm not exactly a connoisseur. I like Moscato and White Zinfandel because I am a mid-20s white girl. Question number 1, boxed wine. A book that people will judge you for liking, but you like it anyway. This is true for this book as well as boxed wine. Don't let anybody put you down for what you like. Boxed wine can be delicious, okay? And it's convenient, and there's a spigot. I'm just saying. For this one, I'm gonna have to go with the Shatter Me series by Hadar Mafi. This series gets a lot of mixed opinions, but I love it. I think it's so much fun. I plan on rereading this series. It is a dystopian, but it leans more towards more focus on the characters and especially romance. And if you like romance in books, which I personally do, you're probably going to enjoy this series. I love it. Some people do not, but I will defend it to my grave. Question number 2, organic wine. A book that doesn't have any added crap in it and is just written perfectly. For me, that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I absolutely love this book, and I think that everything in it needed to be in there. I think the description is beautiful. I think the world is beautiful. I love the characters. I love everything about it. To me, this book is perfection. Number 3, Gluehwein. I don't know. Me and pronouncing things, you guys know how bad it is. A really spicy, wintry read. I love historical fiction in the winter, so that is going to be All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This still remains one of my absolute favorite historical fictions. And there's a lot going on, and it's tragic, and it's beautiful. Absolutely love it. Number 4, Sauvignon Blanc, a really sharp and aggressive read that you couldn't put down. I've been talking about this book non-stop, but I have to mention it again because sharp and aggressive that I can't put down really does describe Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I've done a spoiler-free review as well as a gush video on this, but this was one of my perfect reads. I absolutely adore it. I think it's witty, I think it's smart, I think it's fun. I flew through it. I adored it, but since it is sharp and aggressive, it's not for everyone. Number 5, Pinot Noir, a book you didn't expect much from but ended up getting blown away. And that is The Winter's Curse by Marie Bukowski. When I first read this book last year, no one was talking about it. It was kind of just a sleeper book that bloggers were kind of mentioning, but no one on BookTube had really read. So I picked this one up being a little cautiously optimistic, didn't think much would come of it, and then it became my new obsession. I adore this book and this series, and it's pretty much taken over my life and my emotions and all of my feelings, and a lot is hinging on the final release, which comes out in March of next year, and I cannot wait for it. And I went into this being like, oh, maybe this will be 3 stars, and now my life is ruined. Number 6, Chardonnay, a good summer read that was super zesty. I actually just did a video on my favorite contemporaries, which I will link on the screen. All those books kind of fall into this category, but I want to mention books that I didn't mention in that video. And if we're going for zesty, I'm going to have to go with The Luck series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is just summer, fun, fluffy reading for me. These books are usually 3-star reads. That doesn't mean they're not enjoyable to me. They're just kind of fluff, and they're just kind of fun, and I can just fly through them, and they're just great fun. I enjoy the sassy banter in it. That's what I get the kind of zesty feel from. I like the way that Jennifer L. Armentrout writes her characters' banter, and this series has some good banter, and I highly enjoy it. Number 7, Rosé, a book that has a little bit of everything in it. That one has to go to The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is a heist fantasy novel, but it has so many elements that are just perfection. Like I said, heist, it has a cool magic system, it has a cool world, it has a lot of characters that I really enjoy. It has all these things mixed in that just make it really fun and really perfect for me, and I absolutely love it. I haven't finished the rest of the series yet. I know I say this every time I mention this book, but I have the other 2. They're sitting right there. I'm gonna read them now. I promise. It's winter. I can read long books now, because that's just how my brain works, so I'm getting to it. I promise you I'm getting to it. But this book has so many perfect elements all mixed in. Number 8, Shiraz. Again, if I'm pronouncing these wrong, wine connoisseurs, I am so sorry. A full-bodied book that is dark and juicy. I don't read a lot of darker stories or like horror. I feel like this question is really well suited to like a Gillian Flynn book, which I cannot. But for me, this was The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This book does deal with some darker things, and there's a lot going on. It's a very complex story for how short it is, and it's a family drama, which I love, and it's just kind of a juicy story. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of elements, and it's just beautifully written. It's something you could really sink your teeth into. I absolutely adore it. I've done a spoiler-free review on it and gushed about it so much on my channel, so I'm sure you guys know my deep love for this story. Number 9, Merlot, a smooth, easy read with a soft finish. For me, that is Shades of Milk and Honey by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is a fantasy of manners, so it's set in a Jane Austen Regency period, but there's fantasy elements, there's magic. They have a kind of magic called glamour. Instead of it being more of an aggressive magic, it is more of a household, artistic, beautiful kind of magic. This book fit the category for me well because it just felt so nostalgic. Even though it is not a direct retelling of any kind of Jane Austen story, it felt that way. There were elements that were familiar and were comforting and were warm, and it had an ending that I knew was kind of going to happen, but that I was comforted by and that I enjoyed. So if you are into Jane Austen or Fantasy of Manners or anything like that, I definitely recommend this series. There I think are 5 books in this series. I've only read the first one, but I plan on reading the rest of them. They are just a lot of fun for people that enjoy Regency period stuff. And number 10 is Champagne, your favorite book. Choosing a favorite book is like choosing a favorite child, so I'm actually not going to answer that question because you guys probably know by now, if you've watched my videos, what some of my favorites are, and I just be mentioning the same books over and over, so I am not going to mention a favorite book because you guys can probably fill in the blanks there. So that is it for the wine book tag. I'm going to tag Sarah Jane from the Book Life, Victoria from Victoria Shiraz, and Diana from Novelty. So please comment down below if you are of legal drinking age in your country, and let me know what your favorite wine is and what book you would pair with it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!